All right. Greetings. Yeah. The bullshit in this space is common in areas that I don't even like. I mean, I had a shitty kind of day online and the relationship talking points. Yeah. I want to discuss that. These dudes are pathetic, man. Like, I was in a stream celebrating, I think DJ Kuda's 2K subscribers. I don't know if he's gonna do a third shift tonight, and I don't really care. He said he's gonna do karaoke night. We don't know because I think he was crashing on it. My point is, these guys is fucking lame, man. They get on my nerves. Like, what's the point, man? Like, y'all talk about the same old shit over and over again. Like, I'm sick of these hoe ass niggas on the Bernard Riley show. I deleted that video, what they call it. What's going on, she? Yeah, on the Bernard Riley show. And it was a hard diss. I want to delete the video. I didn't want to say FSYSBM, but they kind of pissed me off. It's some of the individuals I don't like. That Pablo nigga, that's a trick nigga. I fucking hate him. He gets on my goddamn nerves. He's the only nigga I want to break his fucking skull, but I don't want to do it. But I wish someone put a slug in his head. I hate that nigga, man. I hate these niggas. They so lame. I know it's the internet, but them dudes about to get murked this summer. But I ain't gonna do it. But I want someone else to do it. But I'm not gonna fight these lame niggas over here. They're not even worth my time. They're cowards, all of them. All talk about the same old shit that I ever seen in my life. They're bitches, man. Like, all they do is they bitch, they complain, do the I want to say same sexual or gay shit that they always do. They make me sick, man. I mean, yeah, they bitch bro. Exactly. They get on my fucking nerves, man. Like, it's the same shit. And I'm starting to see what Kuda was talking about. I mean, these niggas don't want to build. They're pussy whooped. They get so mad about a lot of shit in life. These are 40 to 60-year-old losers, man. Even my age, fuck them too. That co-sign that bullshit. And fuck the chat in Bernard Riley's. I'm sorry. You co-sign that bullshit that Tommy, he took a wrench. He made that whole ass nigga took a wrench from Mr. Shane Vicious. If y'all know him. It's a shame what I saw, and then he blocked me because I called Pablo a trick, which he act like one. He was begging, man. He was a damn beggar. That's what it means to me. And the way he acted, I get so tired of these niggas, man. Like, they're so annoying. And then you wonder why people don't fuck with them like that. They some bitch ass niggas, man. I'm just saying. I'm just tired of looking at them. And I think we had a good discussion. I think I had an appointment with the C virus and all that shit. But I hate these bitch ass niggas, man. They get on my damn nerves. Just want to break their fucking jaws sometimes, but sometimes I'm just not gonna put up with that bullshit. These lame ass niggas, man. They some bitches, man. They get on my goddamn nerves. Fuck all them niggas. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I am not going over there again. Two can play that game. Yeah, they get on my nerves, man. They the same dudes that don't want production. They pussy whoop, man. These lame ass niggas, and they're not welcome on this channel. They can go to hell. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm done with Bernard Riley or Brenda Riley's ass. I'm sick of him. Fuck that nigga. Lame ass motherfucker. I don't like dudes like that, man. Like, I'm so disappointed, disgusted with that live stream earlier. And it was supposed to be decent, but Tommy ruined it and derailed it. He got mad over about KS's success. Get over it, man. You the one burned bridges to every uh brother in the space, and you ain't even a part of it. You're a coward, man. You're a fucklord, man. I hate niggas like that. They the same niggas that be crying about shit. Yeah, he's a pussy, man. I don't fuck with dudes like that. I'm sorry. They lame as hell, man.
What's going on, man?
What's up, man?
They really got to you.
Nah, they didn't get to me. I just don't fuck with them. I just kind of laugh it
Yeah,
off like the cowards. Like, who lets a guy dictate a string? Like, like, like a man that's never been part of the master. He's a joke and he's a crybaby, man.
basically.
He was crying about KS's success, but he did the same shit back in before in '09, and he was trash. All he talked about was the same shit from Sergeant Willie P's talking points. So I'm like, dude, you're the reason why these idiots exist in 3.0. Like that's why BGS don't even fuck with them dudes like that. And it's a shame this weirdo nigga from Michigan from Bernard Riley, his weak ass. That's why he's the main problem. He perpetuates this shit.
Man,
I want to stop going over there. I mean, fuck
yeah.
him and the rest of them niggas. I'm good, you know. I said
I,
what I had to say on that video. I mean, that guy's a coward, man, for real. He can't even handle smooth trolling. Like, you're a joke, man. Get out of here.
but the crazy part is, I actually went over there for a little bit before I went on ahead and went back over to Rogers because I want to see what the hype is all about. I mean, the reason why a lot of guys go over there because they get free range. They get to say what they want, do what they want. I ain't gonna say a couple of guys' name over there, but I mean, just for that one guy, little, the rest. I mean, just to hear him talk, like this dude, you ain't never. I don't think he ever had a woman, and if he did have a woman, I mean, what are you gonna say to her? She ain't shit. I mean, that's like uh, Tommy. Tommy talks so much shit about black women, but he got a daughter. I'm like, come on, dude.
Yeah, he's been doing this for years, man. But he's a coward, man. Like all he does is talk about the same old circular stuff all the time, beefing with people. Like I ain't got time to beef with a lame dude like that, man. These dudes are trash. All they do is they do the same circle jerk I've seen for years.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting crazy, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm looking, I'm listening because, like I said, I went over there. I seen Obsidian over there talking, and pretty much it's like Obsidian actually helped him grow his channel. Came over there, talked with him, you know, and he said they kind of related some type of partnership. I mean, it's funny how Obsidian gave Angry Man a little praise earlier when I was looking at it, and I'm like, okay. I'm like, but y'all supposed to be beefing. Like
They
you
are.
beefing, like you beefing with Angry Man. Angry Man and you is beefing with O'Shea because
You there? My fault.
no, I think that was me. I was switching on another. Can you hear
Oh,
me? Yeah, okay.
yeah. I can hear you.
Yeah,
I
that was
can.
me. Yeah, I was switching on another panel. I was
Yeah,
sending
go
a
ahead. You
text.
said about Anger Man. They was about beefing.
Yeah, I said, well, Obsidian, it seems like Obsidian and Angry Man kind of, a little upset that he got on and didn't bring him with him. Same thing with Obsidian. He fell off, came back on. First he bashed women, then he kind of caressed women, then he came back to bashing women. Same thing with Tommy. Tommy, he always bashed the black woman. But the difference between what Tommy was doing and what Kevin is doing, Kevin is showing the bullshit that they do, and he's telling them if they want to get better, this is what you need to do. Tommy, only thing he did was bash. Even
Mm,
when that black lady, him and that black lady got into it on the highway, I think he hit her or some little incident when they had an accident. Man, he was yelling, going all crazy at that lady. I'm
yeah.
like, if a man would have been in presence, he would have done none of that.
On
See,
play this. He got knocked out in Sinetta years ago, and
yeah,
Ringo set him up and broke his face, and that's what he get. And
yeah,
I lost all respect for him years ago. Really didn't care for him back then. He's a joke, you know.
yeah.
At
But I
this
mean,
point,
But he made his fame off of degrading his own people, like especially his own women, the women in the community. But then you turn around and have a daughter, so I mean, it makes it look even bad to the standpoint that you have a daughter, but you talk so disrespectful and bad about black women wearing weaves and this and that. I mean, true, your daughter is young. She don't have that in her hair. But
Hmm.
once she leave that house, who knows what she's gonna do with her hair? Because she's gonna fall up under the umbrella of society of what the standard is for cute and what the standard is for good looks. So if she start wearing those lashes and all that stuff, he better just hope nobody takes pictures of that. Cause I mean, even with Tariq Nasheed, when he had did I think he did a forum one time and he got set up. It was a whole bunch of people recording him. He said how he got jumped, and, the people all in the audience tried to beat him up and stuff. Same thing they did with um Tommy. You can't sit here and talk so much crap about people and then go meet them in person and expect them not to do that. That's why this whole manosphere meetup will never happen. And if it do, it'll be a lot of fights. It'll be a lot of people not showing up. And for the ones that do show up, they will have to come with security. I mean, I'm not trying to throw no shade at Anchorman, but Anchorman told a lot of dudes catch a flight. Now, if they get there person to person, Angry Man might beat their ass. They might beat Angry Man ass. I mean, but that's the whole point. When you've been, when guys been showing threats at Angry Man, and Angry Man been telling people on the record to come on, let's get it on. So it's gonna be like a when you face to face, what you gonna do?
He's done that before. He met somebody, but he didn't harm nobody. It's just if you threaten to kill him, he's going to retaliate. So I
Yeah,
think I hate to say this. Some people say he started that doxing stuff along with GMT, but you don't want to retaliate the troll like Beasley. Like this, I want to read this comment. I don't understand half of the stuff over beef. I don't listen to everyone. I try to, but it's just boring to me. But I will stay listening to Beezy because he's fun and I want to. Yeah, he's a decent troll. A
yeah.
lot of people got to understand. You just don't want to beef with trolls because yeah, they got the instrument in their hand. There's some of them are hackers, some of them are normal people. They just don't want to be bothered. But these dudes that think they tough threat, they get their head blown away. Where I come from, I'm like, come on, or where I originally come from, they wouldn't last, man. They're a joke to me. That's why I don't take this stuff seriously because when you got guys like MOT threatening, trying to copy Angry Man, y'all were all underneath him. What he said, he showed receipts about Kevin. Kevin used to be a fan. I mean, I agree with that. Kevin just used the talking points of his and BGS's. They brought him in. So, yeah, he acknowledged that and him and Ron Wills. He just figured it out how to manipulate the mainstream media because he wasn't really a threat the way he dressed. So yeah, I give him his success and everything. What I don't like, he's using their talking points. That's the only thing I can't rock with. Why would you use another man's talking points? And it's gonna backfire on him. Now he's got to switch up. So he's learning to see that now. Those individuals come out. See, Anger Man ain't beefing with Kevin. He understands it. He knows how to get him out of that talking points. Tommy can't do that. It ain't his. So
But
they all listen to Sergeant Willie P. That's where it all stems from that book, from that black woman. And me and Wacky talked about that like a couple of months back. So when he told me that, and I was like on his channel, I said, "Oh, I see." It was like last year or so. So yeah, it ain't nothing new.
but the crazy part is this. Even with the talking points, okay, let's take for instance, you got Dr. Claude Anderson. He came out talking about the reparation. You got um, Tone and Yvette Cornell. They both talking about the reparations, but they came with ADOS. And what's called piggyback off of him too, because he wanted to get in on the ADOS. Then they broke up. The bad part was that infight to where if the movement would have still been going, we would have seen some progress in it. But the whole point, you know, you had Tariq didn't get his fair share, I guess, of what was going on, so he deaded the whole thing. But that's where it goes to show that all these people who talk about they for our people and they for this and that, they not for it. They for the money. I
Yeah,
mean, even with Kevin, I told people, I said, all these guys who are YouTubers, if Kevin came to them with a proposition, why not fuck with Kevin? I don't give a damn who say they not gonna do anything with Kevin. Because at the end of the day, if you look at this YouTube thing as a way of making money, you're going to deal with Kevin in a matter of making money. If Kevin come to you with a proposition and say, "Hey man, I like your content. I'm gonna give you $10,000 a month. All you have to do is keep your audience coming to the panel, and this is what's gonna be." All those guys jumping over. Even I mean, Angry Man, he's a businessman. He's not gonna turn that down. DS1 for all those guys that said that they not gonna fit the category, when he comes to them with that proposition, not trying to shoot no shot towards them, but those guys are gonna go because this is their bread and butter. This is how they make their money. At the end of the day, if you fit the puzzle fits, it fits. I mean, I don't see no other way of trying to say I'm not gonna go with Kevin because simply he's Kevin. Nah, you mean to tell me you're gonna turn 10,000 a month down because your pride? Nah, I mean that's foolish. If I did that, my wife would leave me on the premise of being a dumbass.
Hmm.
You know. So
I will see Anger Man flip DS1 because it's personal with these guys. The guys that want to hate, I told Kudo panel this morning, let them hate, man. That's just part of the game. Fame does change you. Kevin's gonna see the real. He's not gonna have those guys if he ignores and does the right thing and don't bother this space. He could be successful without it. I don't think he needs him. I think he wants a new batch, and he probably watches Ty City about the new manosphere. If you ever watch his long hour videos,
yeah,
they ain't with those groups like SYSBM and MGTOW, Nick Moore. That's not allowed in the mainstream world. I'm just saying that. And Angry Man may take offense to that, but if he does flip, if they pay him more, he ain't gonna take no less. I just know Angry Man in general. He's just not that type of guy that's gonna take less. I'm sorry. He wants to
yeah.
be the top dog. He'll
And see,
flip. I tell you, he'll flip, but not DS1. The wrestling guys, no, not Kendra, no. They went to a person that never liked the master, like Tasha K. She beats with everybody, but she's never for us anyway. So she's
yeah.
she's about money. I respect her about that. But she was never for Manosphere. No.
But but the thing of it is, when it comes down to it, DS1, I mean, honestly, DS1 probably the only one that I know hasn't broke the code. I mean, he hasn't broke the game. He's been he's been preaching the same thing since I've been on YouTube. He's been talking about the same thing since I've been on YouTube, building black men. Uh Gold Professor, he preaches the same way, but see, Gold Professor, he's more on the line of actually giving the knowledge. Nobody wants the knowledge.
Exactly.
I've always told him, I said, man, you have a great channel for intellectual people. We go over there, we joke. I always, throw little jokes in the comments to, get the whole thing riled up, everybody listening and talk. Like my thing is, I do pre-records because I got screen record on my phone. So I do a recording of the screen of somebody's video. Like I might even do one for yours and put it on mine and
Mm.
get people to start coming over and looking at this. And also, when I do it, I can add voice to it and I can put commentary behind the video while you're talking and I can pause it, play it. I mean, this note, I mean, it's wonderful. I
Oh
hate
wow.
that my other one broke because I can do like I said, I got screen record. I can record just a screen, no audio. Then I can come back and record screen and audio, or I can record screen, audio, and have my voice to where I can put my input in on it. So I mean, this phone. That's why I say it's kind of crazy when I want to get on my laptop. I mean my desktop and go because I got two monitors. But I mean the way my phone is structured, I mean this phone is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, what I've learned so far is like on what I'm seeing from, I think, from the beginning of the year. Never thought I was gonna be cool with cool because just like I predicted last year, like this one guy Big Buck was about. And then when I start looking at his stuff, I'm like, yeah, all the stuff I told him that it was cool with you. they turn their backs on you, and I'm starting to believe what DS1 told him like uh years ago and last year that these dudes will flip, and I saw it coming too, but I was in the midst of it. I didn't realize I was gonna be part of that history when he got that 2K, and I salute him for that. I mean, yeah, man, it ain't easy when you've been here that long. It's worth it, man. You know, and I'm always gonna support him regardless. I mean, we have our little disagreements, but we remain cool though. You know, and that's just how it's going to be, you know, because them other dudes, they ain't about building. They about destruction. They don't even care. It's the same shit I've seen almost a decade. And I don't want to be associated with that. They talk about 1 minute brotherhood, but it's fake at the beginning. You know, I just can't deal with that.
Yeah,
That's why I'm cool with Mace and a few other guys. I mean, I just want something like a well balanced group. You don't have to be intellectual with me. You know, I'm very well versed,
yeah.
you
And
know.
that's what I try to be too.
Yeah.
But my biggest thing is, like I always tell guys, I focus on two things in the manosphere. I focus on the finance and I focus on family. You know, if you don't have family, you can be over getting finance. I tell every time I always push on everybody's channel, even on mine. I tell them, I say from day one, a woman brought me in this space, Erica Williams. All guys, they talk so much crap about Erica. Well, she looks this way, this and that. And I'm like, dude, for one, she might pay your salary for the year. I mean, I'm just being funny about it, but the point of it is a lot of guys, they have all this fire. I mean, all this smoke, but ain't got no fire when it comes to this. You know, they can talk the talk, but they can't walk the walk. You know, she's showing numbers. She's putting a business, she's putting, everything together to pretty much, excuse me, she putting up a business. She got trucks on play. You know, she's going to conventions. I mean, hell, she's dealing with Grant Cardone. A
Hmm.
lot of guys can't even get to that $10,000 seat with him. Let alone be in the circle. And first thing they want to say is, "Well, I mean, with the stuttering, the numbers work." I keep telling guys, get your finance together, get life insurance, man. You know, term life is cheap. Get term life, give it to your niece, give it to a cousin. I've always said if I never had kids and didn't get married, one of my best friends would have got my life insurance. His son would have got my life insurance policy. You
Right.
know, and that's even over my cousins because I got four younger cousins and I told him, I'm like, you guys a piece of shit. Like, y'all don't even go see your dad. And dude, me and this dude are real cool. We talk all the time. And I'm like, what do you see? This whole, I guess the guy knocker, I don't even like talking and using like words like that. But the point of them dealing with their mom and they mom training them to, see more or less of what she has to offer versus the
Hmm.
dad who took care of them. Even when he wasn't on child support, he would still give them school clothes. They would have the best shoes, school supplies. If they want to do sports, they still like, even though had the video games that they like, all that stuff. I mean, it comes a point where a lot of guys they do more talking than actually putting in the work, and that's what killed me in this space. A lot of guys focus on the women; they're not even focused on the money. Like I said on Roger's channel, you'll have a guy doing 3 videos a day about how bad women are, but you
Hmm.
ain't there not one video on how to, focus on getting some money for yourself.
Yeah, they're not about building, and
Nope.
I learned that last year, and I think the first time I've been on Roger's panel, me and Complex talked about the Sapio stuff later on. I watched this channel around the fall when I first started, and everybody was cool, and I was being cool with everybody. It took me time in the month. It was Roger Report Live. I'll never forget it. Over the time, he had a video called "Franchise Players versus top 10 day of contracts," and we was on that. I was on the panel for the first time with BGS. That was a different experience, and Black Uru. That was probably a decent stream. I mean, I wasn't a fan of the outcome, but I learned something about that stream. You know, you have intelligent brothers like that, so it takes to get used to. But I think this year I've been on more panels with BGS since then. outside of the last year, and even
Yeah.
on our panel and his panels, how intense they are. So that right there lets you know that you're in that atmosphere with them. So it's a different ball game, when you deal with certain individuals, it's not. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And Kudos, his is exciting. He's well balanced. He don't just talk about game, he talks about other stuff. He drops a few gems there and there. He has a well balanced channel. It's more than just what he's about to me. But he's more
Yeah.
up to date what you are into now when it comes to tech, you know. That's the
And,
thing.
and the biggest thing that Kuda was talking about, Obsidian, he gave notice to that on Bernard's channel. If the Manosphere is gonna grow, we're gonna have to start hiring within. I mean, I've always pushed my boy Mark Nash. I mean, even though SKC he does this thing with the intro outro, but Mark Nash, guy, he does he's actually a rapper, but he does graphics and little stuff like that. And so he pretty much pushes stuff. Uh you have different guys like Walt Diddy, he does film and stuff like that. I've seen him different stuff, to try to get him into certain things I want in my project. I mean, just several people within this space. I mean, you got Obsidian already wrote books. You got Grinch wrote books, and it's the crazy part. It's a lot of people that I don't even listen to, and some of them are in my area. It just like, dude, like it was funny on the live one day. I was talking with Artie Whitmore and Edward.
Hmm.
Edward and Artie Whitmore didn't even know they stayed in the same city with Angry Man. I'm like, dude, I only been in this space for a year, and y'all didn't even know y'all stayed in the
Wow,
same
I did
area.
not know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I pick up on. See, that's my key thing. When I start talking to people, I'm always on the hunt to try to remember key things. And when I found out all three of them stayed in Raleigh, I'm like, all three of y'all want a house. All three of y'all could go to a developer, tell a developer, I want a crib over here. We don't want to be right beside each other. We want to be spread it out. So let's say you build my house first, build his house second, and third, but you're doing it in the development. So maybe I have to wait 6 months, but I'm already guaranteed a house. I've already put my down deposit down. And you gotta understand, if you go to a developer with three people guaranteed with good credit, ready approved, even if you don't got good credit, they still can play with the numbers. But still, you got three people with a down payment ready to buy a house. You know how hard it is to sell houses in new development? Most people don't even want to stand them because they stand around dirt. You pick the plot, you pick the design of the house. Most of the stuff is cookie cutter, and you go from there. So you have to, kind of look at the developing company and see what type of rating they have, the homes that they built, how good they are. But I'm like, all three of those guys could have went to a developer. They could have entered a $200,000 development, and they're already giving incentives when you come there early. They could have got an extra 20,000 or 50,000 knocked off their house because you're coming with three people instead of one.
Yeah. I'm gonna read this right quick. They all live in the same city, but they really were not listening to each other. Yeah, that's common. If you live in the same city or whatever, if you live like New York, wherever, Wacky doesn't do that because he goes live in different spurts. But it depends on who you subscribe to and listen to. I know everybody's live that I don't subscribe to, like Ism, Mace, a few others. They're live right now, so I ain't got time. They channels ain't stacked. See, Platinum had like 200 something in the box. See, Bernard had like 1,000. They ain't his usual numbers. Well, see, he didn't know how to control the chat. That was
Yeah.
a disappointment in that stream. I couldn't enjoy it. I was like, nah. They just let Tommy derail the conversation, and it was a shit show. And I'm just like, yeah, him. I always call Obsidian the Oblivion. He's the main problem. And I mean, his book is decent, but I'm not gonna buy that from him. Like, dude, you flipped to the other side. You was never a relationship guru. You just a Johnny come lately trying to fit in, fit it to the 2.0 space. But dude, you're not a pure factor of the space. The most of the older heads don't mess with you like that. See, it's a divide with three different spaces. Like the history is messed up. See, mainstream master got y'all thinking, oh, they created space. No, it didn't. It was us and Wacky and others and that gave y'all those talking points. It's just Anger Man had to figure out why those talking points came from, but he understood where it needs to go. And that's why he understood our history more. He ain't gonna say it, but he knows. He knows he's not dumb. That's why I don't go in on him that much because he doesn't care for O'Shade and Obsidian because they want to do something different, because they was into beefs, the circle jerking. They don't even care about the building. They claim they are, but see, Angry Man's been consistent. He been cracking on dudes and want brotherhood. But when he left, like DS1 said, they just didn't want the work. You have to put in the work. See, BGS, he didn't put in the work. That's nothing you can do. And 3.0 is supposed to be a technocracy. They failed that. And I said something in Kuda's chat that night, that stream was clowning on Kevin's comedian. I said they was on life support. And I'm like, y'all ain't doing nothing, man.
Yeah.
Y'all that art new style complaining about weave and stuff. What's up with that? I mean, Art's doing a good thing. I mean, I do not hate his channel. I mean, his channel is way diverse. He needed the views, so good for him. Great for him. He has my full support all the way. Whatever he's trying to do.
Yeah. Well, art, I like art. I used to donate to art channel a lot, but my cash app locked up on me. But the biggest thing with art is art has the biggest diverse channel, but get the least amount of views because of the beef that he got along like certain times with certain content creators.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Art was having a lot of guys in the box until, certain guys say don't go over there. I'm I'm not even gonna say who, but I'm just saying certain guys say I'm not respected, so I'm not going, and I advise you don't do the same. Or
Yeah.
um, it's more or less Beasley right, man. When it come down to it, you got these cliques, you got these cult following
Mm-hmm.
people, man. My thing is, I don't care. Like, I don't fool with none of these guys. Like, I know you in the A. I remember you say you up in Kennesaw. I got Warcraft. He's out in Douglasville. I got his number. I holler at him. Me and him supposed to do some things, but he done kicked up his work status, so me and him can't fall in. Smooth,
Mm-hmm.
he up in Gwinnett. I talked to him. Me and him, you know. You got Kane, he's down over in the Loganville, Snellville area. I hollered at him, man. I've been to his house, me and him kicked it. We haven't even jumped up more or less because I'm always moving in and out with my work, and same thing with him. But me and him, we supposed to be kicking it and doing some things. I was talking about getting over his house. We go over there and grill, have Smooth come over if he want to come, and we kick it, do our thing. Because my thing is this: Charles even said it best. It should be some type of council to where you come to the state, you have a manosphere guy who's a representative within that state who you can talk to. And then he'll put you on to other guys who, because I mean, that's like in Atlanta. You even know you got guys in Atlanta, especially going down into the city part. Hell,
Yeah.
you might have a dude say, man, I need to move, man. I need to move real quick. Oh man, I know a dude, he move on the low. He my homeboy. I need my car towed. Man, I know a dude, he towed cars, man. Hey, he got his own towing business. Let me hit him up. Like now, I got people that do all that type of little stuff like that, ins and out, little bitty stuff here and there. If I don't know it, I can hit somebody else, see if they know it. Because right here in the A, it's all about connections. You
Mm-hmm.
working, who moving like that. Like I said, I got a dude that sell houses. His people, they do loans. Like she sell houses and she do loans. It's like the whole premise of what do you want to do? I got my cousin right now. He about to get ready to get a house. His tax return coming in. I already told him. I said, look, clean your credit up, take your tax return, put in your account. Don't go crazy spending no more. If you're gonna do something, do it with cash to a certain degree. You don't want to take out a lot because they look into stuff like that. I'm teaching him about the game. Alonzo Hall, I got a book from him from one of the guys where I went to the luncheon that he did, where they talked about home buying. I was one of the winners for the book. Hopefully, I win a prize for this other book they got coming out, as far as talking about investment in the stock market, bonds, and stuff like that. You know,
Yeah.
Charles, what's going on, man?
What's going on, man?
It's cool. It's all good. I'm just happy to hop on and talk. You guys was talking good information, and I wanted to talk about some things. Hopefully, is analogous to what you guys are saying. I always observe the man of spirit. I always want to connect with brothers, but I have a problem with beefing and complaining. It's cool to have different opinions because we all are going to think differently, but it should always be the primary focus is to build up the black man and give black men information that they don't know. But to me, the problems I see is that everybody wants to be right. And even though I believe in respect and showing, paying quote unquote homage to people, you still got to let even the smaller people who have a voice have a voice. And I don't see that on everybody's panels. Like, so if somebody is like extremely popular, they could be totally wrong or inaccurate with what they're saying, but you'll let the person who's inaccurate because they got a following say more than somebody else who is accurate, instead of just saying, okay, Charles, I disagree with you. Why do you think like that? Okay. So that's what I think my problem is. I don't mind trolling. I don't mind people for fun, just messing around with each other. But I do believe in respect because I respect all of you. It ain't that serious to me, because if it get that serious, then we need to take it offline. And this is if all these dudes is on here trying to make money, and I get that sometimes the drama can bring views, but it's not getting you to where you need to be, and it creates not that people really care about images like that, but to me it creates a negative image of us, and I'd rather have a positive image of us than a negative image. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's pretty normal in this space, but as black men in real life, you see some of it, but online they get this power. Like, it's the characters of the people. If you really listen to them on panels, and what I've noticed, I'm an observer myself, like from BGS to others. Now, the other side I've noticed now on Kuda, it's fun. You troll
Yeah.
a little bit, but you talk to him and he gives you the points that you need. Like, we can talk about anything, women or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or life. Just live life and get off this stuff. And that's what I've
Yeah.
been trying to do, because I've tried to make this channel different based off who I am on this channel.
Mm-hmm.
But when I see others talk about females a lot, that's like liability talk. Like, they ain't eating up the part. They need some help. I give them some little guidance, but you can't help all of, what I've noticed
Yeah.
on panels talking to them. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you really give a real conversation, you really understand where they're coming from. I ain't trying to tackle feminism, God. I done heard that stuff years ago.
Yes.
Like, you really have to solve it on your own, like, to understand it. Because see, the pretty ones that get you in trouble, they usually backed by somebody from the top. So we
I
already know
agree.
a threat to that. But complaining about it, now you still got to be a man and push. You can't worry about if you're a straight man or not, because that's the
Yeah.
issue. The issue is you got these guys that are non whatever or gang whatever. They the ones be tricking a lot, and sometimes they be begging a lot too.
Okay.
Overseas, they always get jammed up with the sting up, like what Kuda was saying. Yeah, 9 out of 10 they get caught up. You don't know if that woman is a police officer, military, or a stealth person trying to
I hear
wipe
you.
it up, whatever. That human trafficking is no joke. They have to be careful.
I
Talk
agree
about
with you totally.
the eugenic stuff from
Mm-hmm.
SYSBM. They need to change that image, because Aaron Fallon, he's just writing a case file on you. So all
Mm-hmm.
he has to do is report it to the news. You've been tainted. What I mean? They ain't going to
I hear
jail.
you.
It's just they get tainted like that. But I agree with you saying.
Yeah.
Most
I want
people to make the conversation structured, but the problem is our ego gets the best. Like, we got to be the Highlander. We got to be
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, that's I'm about to go somewhere with this. Like
Yeah,
she
go ahead.
she was dropping great information. Like
Mhm.
something I've never heard of some things, because where I live, they don't build new housing developments. And I've never even thought of that. But that's why I enjoy listening to people, because sometimes you get information that you haven't been exposed to. So I try to diversify and listen to different people, but it doesn't. Sometimes people don't pop up in the feed, and if I don't see them, it's like I forget. But I really appreciate you putting that information out, because that's some stuff people need to know. If they live in a rural area where they're building stuff, and you can get in on some type of property early, that's a great investment, because all investment is a risk, but people are always going to need a place to stay. So why not take that chance? I think it's great. But getting back into what you were talking about the dudes going overseas, I'm gonna throw an argument just to see your thoughts on it. This is my statement, and then it's the argument. I have no problem with dudes being tricks, because a lot of dudes can't get women. That's my statement, and they're gonna do whatever it takes for them to be happy, as long as they don't bring me no pain to me. However, my question is this: for these dudes that have women problem and can't get women, what should they do? That's why they're going over there. What should they do? That's the question.
I mean, they should focus on themselves mainly, not worry about women and begging, because sometimes that can lead you to disaster. I don't care if they trick or not. I'm agreeing with you on that. But the problem is, don't broadcast it online.
I hear you.
What's going to happen? Somebody's going to hurt you over there, or you get jammed up. Like Kudo always said, you got to keep that on the low low. The only person that can teach you that is Black Male First Media, Tricks a lot. He'll tell you. He keeps it on low. Just book a session with him. He helps guys that have problems like that. They got life coaches for that. I don't agree what they say, because sometimes they give you bad information and get you locked up with the human trafficking thing. They ain't playing that. That's why they trying to legalize prostitution. They want to control. See, women got power in that market. I hate to say it. They don't need a pimp or a player or a trick. Them. It's gonna be weird because attack. That's why
for real. I hear you.
I'm observing. And even Platinum said, I was like, well, damn, they taking over the tech. Yeah, you have to adapt, man. If you don't, you're just going to be obsolete. You got to learn the skills now. And I guess YouTube's a decent way to learn to communicate with people. This is the first step. Panels is the first step of communicating with others. I learned that on the job when I used to work. I had to talk to everybody. I couldn't just discriminate. I had my issues ignoring people, but I learned something. You always listen to what a person says. You take that advice and you build on it, But a lot of dudes can't do that, especially Black men. I've noticed they just like to argue for the sake of argument. But
that's what confuses me. It's like you got dudes come on here, and brothers are actually giving them solution to their women problems, but they don't want to hear what dudes are saying. And I don't understand, why are so many people combative to people giving you good information? Like, I've heard the argument, and I don't know if you guys agree or disagree, but I'll say, if you have a problem talking to women, just talk to women for no reason. Just learn to be civil and friendly with them. Some dudes don't want to be friends with women. Okay, that's great. But sometimes try to talk to women with no romantic interest at all. And then you can get past some of the vitriol or anger you have of not being able to connect women, because you'll say, oh, I kind of get them now. You get what I'm saying? You guys could disagree. It's cool. But am I making sense to you?
Yeah.
You make
BGS talked about this. BGS talked about this. If you're dealing with issues of talking with women, go work for a call center.
Yep.
Because a lot of guys, you got to learn how to take rejection. See, that's the biggest thing. Most guys who know how to take rejection, if they go to a convention and let's just say it's a woman's convention, and they're doing black girl magic there, it's like 90% women, 10% dudes. This guy can go to every woman and literally say, hey, how you doing, beautiful? I want to talk to you, boom, boom, boom. She say no, go to the next. Hey, beautiful, how you doing? This dude can get like 20 no's, 1 yes. There you go. See, the point of rejection is to keep going. Hold on.
Yeah, I feel I feel them. Like, I want to get on more panels and talk to people, but I don't want to yell at people. Like, this is I appreciate you letting me come up on here, brother. And because it's your panel, even if it wasn't, I would still show you respect. But a lot of times when I hop on people's panels, it's like they don't even want to hear what you got to say. And I don't even think I can speak, but I don't think I'm extremely long-winded. I try to get to the point as fast as possible. So that's what stops me from going on different people's panels. Like, let's use Art. I love Brother Art, but I don't want to get involved with the beef. Like, I see that him and Angry Man and Beasley and all these people beefing, and then now you got to choose. That's what makes me separate. Like, let's say Angry Man or BGS get into it. I'm cool with both of y'all, so I'm gonna stay out of it. But if somebody says, well, you can't talk to BGS or you can't talk to Angry Man, I'm gonna talk to both until they tell me stop coming. So I don't want to get involved with people's issues. That's y'all issues. You ain't did nothing to me. I may not like what's going on between y'all two, but that's y'all two. I don't care what nobody say. I like Beasley. Do I agree with like doxing? I'm cool. I'm not with that, but that's on him. Don't mean I'm gonna stop liking him because he did something that I thought that's kind of not cool. But you know, it is what it is. Overall, in conversation, Beasley is pretty fantastic. He's probably one of my favorites because if you ain't, he may troll you, but if you come at him with respect, he come with you with respect. You got to start it with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Beasley, what I liked about him on panels with Art of New Style, I have a huge respect for him. Even though he tells you he's going to troll, he said, as long as you don't mess with him and troll and try to dox him, that's what I don't like when people do. I mean, Angerman does some foul stuff too. I mean, he ain't perfect. But one thing, I've been on panels with Angerman, I respect him, and we just keep it neutral because I ain't trying to beef with him. You know, I let him have his space, and he lets me have mine. And we respect each other because I ain't trying to do that. I already got trouble with a dude named Manna Tomorrow because he always want to force that side nonsense like this other dude that I'm referencing this video, and it's disgusting. That's what's wrong with the space. You got dudes like that. I've seen back in the day done that, and it didn't work. I've seen that solution before. It doesn't work. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, that's why you bought your subscribers like what other people that know about you. You know, you can't do that. You can't cheat your way on YouTube because they're gonna find you out. Even if they do dox you in a good and a bad way, you've been exposed, and now they have to question what type of person you are in real life. You know, because you got to face people when they interview you. You know, if any of us can interview one day, I'm just saying, you just got to be careful. You know, I try to be careful on here. You know.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna say I'm like you because I don't got no problems with people. Just don't come at me crazy. And if you come at me crazy, I'm just not gonna talk to you no more because I'm not gonna come at you crazy because I'm more like, okay, you have all this energy. We really need to meet and talk face to face. You know, that's how I'm thinking because it ain't that serious to me. Because this is the internet. I ain't got no problem with you. Like you say, I ain't got no problems with nobody. Somebody might not like that I associate with somebody, but I'm not bringing you the beef. I'm not bringing you no trauma. I'm not talking bad about you. There's lots of people on here. If you notice, I don't go to everybody's chat. You be in the chats. You see some people I talk, some people I won't. And because I don't like, especially when the conversation is extremely stupid, I won't say nothing. But if it's silly and fun, I'll say something. So I'll go in BGS's chat and I'll talk because it's usually going to be intellectual. I'll talk in Rogers when I got time because he always early. Sometimes I don't have time, but it's usually deep. And Roger let other people speak. But some chat you can totally disagree with everything Roger's saying, and he will hear you out. So I like that. Okay, this dude is cool. He got an award for me. But some people that don't let people speak, I got a problem. Kuda's cool. Different people come in and out, but Kuda let everybody get a shine. He show everybody love. I roll with people that show everybody love. That I figure let's say if Kuda blew up, he ain't gonna forget people. He the type of person that say, "Oh yeah, that's my man." And there's other people like that. But when the people beef too hard and there's no hate to them, if there's always a problem with somebody and it's not funny, then I'm gonna stay away. But some people, like, I don't mind you beefing that it's funny for trolling to make jokes. Then I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? So it depends how you go at it. You know. So it is what it is, though.
Yeah. That's usually what it is. And I stayed away from the guys that I used to subscribe to. I had to cut them off. But the ones I'm cool with now, like Kuda and a few other guys, and Still Wacky, we have our disagreements, but we're still cool to this day. But I don't get into extreme beats that started with Anger Man. You know, I try to stay away from that. You know, he's all right with me. What I've noticed from him on panels with Kuda and a few others, he's all right with me because I have no issue. That's why I'm cool with DS1, and he shouted me out in a chat that I've been listening to Kuda, so they like the typical same zodiac sign. So I understand where they coming from because they're good dudes. I mean, I have no issues with them.
I'm gonna ask you a question, and this is because I want to know your perspective. How come people can be cool with people like type Ace Boon Coon one day, then they flip on each other like the very next day over silly stuff, like because you like one political party more than me, then I don't get that. You know what I mean? Even if you kept muting me on this channel, like this is your channel, I still wouldn't be mad at you about it. You know, I might say, well, I'm going to go to my place and speak, but I wouldn't diss you for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Guys like that, I hate to say it, like dudes like MOT takes it way extreme. He be beefing with guys, and he's cool with this one individual I don't like. I call him Mr. Fitnall 824. Thinks he
I know
knows.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, that dude and him, they don't even like each other in real life. I hate to say that. That's what Kuda said, and what he noticed when he was cool with them at once upon a time last year and a couple of years back.
Mm-hmm.
It was all cool. They flipped because Angerman roasted them and cooked them, whatever. Then they start when this tirade, let's go against Angerman. That's basically what it is. And Hammer triggered it. That young boy that was cool with BGS, I can't stand him from doing it. I don't like instigators like that. Why would you instigate something we all fall out on? I let it go at the end of the day. I don't really care. That's their thing. But I'm not going to just kind of crusade and try to say, I'm going to kill somebody over a line. They checked him a few
Crazy.
times and they try to tell him to chill. It ain't that serious, and you supposed to be a progressive and you ain't acting like one.
Yeah.
That's why I don't trust the brain trust as much. And like I try to tell them they don't like support. What are you producing in 3.0? Y'all gonna be erased because everybody's gonna remember Stream Team, but not brain trust.
I don't
I'm
remember none of those
sorry.
acronyms,
Yeah,
just to be honest. It's either Manosphere or Black Men. That's all I noticed. And you can call it
it's
whatever you want to call it.
it's
So I know
three.
how it goes. I know
Yeah,
Stream Team 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. I've heard all the
well,
names, the groups that people
yeah,
want to be a part of.
but
See, I'm
one
with Black
thing,
Men. I just roll with me. And I'm
yeah,
down with a lot of people. I'm down with you. I'm down with Beasley, down with BGS, I'm down with
I
Sheik,
will
down with Roger. What is
explain
that?
I'll explain
Huh?
what 1.0 is.
Well, I know what
1.0.
it is.
Yeah, but it is pro-black at one time. It
Mm-hmm.
had different ideologies. On tell you a secret. A lot of it came from the Yahoo days and the conscious community. It's a mix of
Mm-hmm.
lots of esoteric stuff. The problem is they had the Gen X website recent live stream, and he gave you the history on his channel. He said they evolved. The problem was you had certain persons, brothers stayed here, and then they didn't want to donate, and then that website just didn't make it pass go. So, and then that's when BGS came from the MGTOW side, like somewhere around 2015. Now, he came in 2012 on their side, but he learned about the Black Manosphere later on when we left around 2014 and 15. That's when things started changing. And it was their side, just like Angerman. That's how they blew up. And the Obsidian and O'Shea hopped on later on in 2016. So now 3.0 came from 2.0, from BGS, the arguments and stuff. They created 2018? They had like 3 or 4 years to produce some good content. Now they have family problems. I mean, they can't produce content like they do. They have 4,000 subscribers. I mean, that's a good thing, but they gotta still be consistent. You know, that's the problem. With them. So yeah, I just don't see them evolving. You know.
Yeah, and I mean the crazy part with the biggest thing, you know, I go on a lot of panels and I talk to guys. Let me jump out this room. My wife on the phone. But when it come down to it, man, like I say with Gold Professor, that's one of the key things I like about his panels. When you go over there, once you start trying to interrupt, he breaks it down. No interrupting, no slander, no throwing epithets towards each other, because you have guys saying some righteous stuff, but when a guy interrupts him, he loses his train of thought. Like, and that's horrible when it comes down to you actually, giving some key points, And with this whole space, man, I've started to notice more and more a lot of guys are not what they preach. A lot of guys are more focused on their image in the space more or less than helping the black man. I mean, because we preach, oh, guys shouldn't be with single women. I understand that you don't want to take care of another man's kid, but why not mentor that young man? Because if we're focusing on the young black man, the men of the future, that man is going to go astray. And that same man that you say you don't want to deal with might be that same man that robs you at the ATM one day, you know? So if we're going to start working with each other, let's work with each other in positive ways. Let's start, kind of working to mend some broken, hearts or mend broken things that's going on in the community. Everybody can't be there for one another, but the whole point of giving the knowledge, just like I was talking about the housing thing. I mean, they have a bill in rural areas that you can get a loan for less than 3% if you're in rural areas. It's I forgot the name of this loan. But basically, it's like a rural area type loan. And basically, what they do is instead of getting a regular 4 point some percent, you getting 3% or lower. Some of them you get approved for 1%. You get the land, you get the house, or even just the land because most people going in there trying to be farmers. You get a chicken on that property, you get, a couple of crops growing, you know, the land is pretty much itself. All you have to do is just pay it off. When it come down to it, it's just the research. A lot of guys not knowing of this stuff, so they're not taking advantage of it. When it comes down to it, the biggest part within the community, like I keep saying, we struggling on is the knowledge. All the stuff is in the books. Most guys are not reading the books. Go Professor focus on that with the reading aspect, and other channels. A lot of guys they play about it, but the whole point of there's no excuse. Life insurance with Alonzo Hall, I talk about that all the time. That's pushing generational wealth. You know, if you're older, get term life. If you're younger, get whole life. Because you can borrow money. Like I've told several guys on panels, I'm gonna be the bank when I get in my late 40s. I'm 38 now. When I get in my late 40s, I'm gonna borrow money off my life insurance instead of going to the bank trying to get approved for a loan because I got whole life. And I told Lonzo, my thing is he's gonna review my policies. I'm getting $1 million policy. I actually just told my wife how much money on my policy I have, and not the point that I was thinking she was gonna kind of knock me off or something, but the whole point of it is it's supposed to be like a surprise thing, but I'm getting a bigger policy. I'm getting $1 million. I'm trying to get my point of getting $1 million. That should carry to the next generation. A lot of guys not, that's our thing. We should be looking towards the future. We talking about a lot of young men not getting married. They got to have that money going into that next generation if they're going to get married. The kids are going to be the main result. As us, we're pretty much just, kind of dwindling and, teeter-totting on this right now as far as life. The younger generation, we're training them up to say, okay, these women are not doing right. Once you find someone, you lock her down. That's the same thing with my wife. When I found a good woman, hell, she had 2 kids. It didn't matter because my whole thing, I was weighing my options on what type of woman that was going to benefit me. If she
Yeah.
had kids, she didn't have kids. Guys limit their options, and once you limit your options, I mean, my thing is you get what you get.
Sheed. Can I interrupt
Yep.
you for 1 second to ask you a question?
Go ahead.
So, what would you tell a guy who wants a family but is afraid of the marriage, the legal marriage type situation, or a woman leaving him for resources?
My thing is this vet. I mean, that's the biggest part. Why would you date a woman or deal with a woman with the notion that she might do that? Don't even deal with her. I trust my wife to the point where, people change over time. As of right now, we're good. No problem. Like I say, she's Jamaican. So I kind of noticed that with a lot of my friends that have successful wives and I mean successful marriage and doing pretty good, they got foreign chicks. I mean, not saying that that's the route to go, but the point of it is, I mean, their marriages are doing pretty good right now. Even if you get a American ADOS woman, and the biggest thing is ask questions. A lot of guys are not asking these questions. Like I keep saying, if you're looking at a woman, a big butt and a smile, you're not trying to go deeper and trying to figure out, the whole premise. Because, I had an argument with a lady on another channel regarding Kevin Samuels talking about her education don't matter. To an extent, it don't, but it helps when you're educated to help the kids. I mean, that's the extent of your education. If Sister Asada Muhammad, she comes on art panel, she comes on Roger panel. She went to school and got a degree to help her kids because she homeschooled her kids. So she went to school, focus on English, math, all the subjects. So when she teach her kids, she knew that they was getting the best education. They was gonna be within the grade level versus she just giving them 2 plus 2 is 4 basic things. And when they go to actual school and get the standardized test, they're failing on and below average. A lot of men don't vet women. They don't talk to women. All they know is she pretty. She might get some cute kids. I'm like, dude, that's how women think. Men, we think long term. We think legacy. We thinking that if I have a daughter, she's gonna find a good man to have my grandson or to have my granddaughter, because a lot of men in this space, it kills me that they only talk about the men. You need the women aspect more or less too to get men. You know, Uru talked about this all the time, and it was a general where he was like, they was in war, and I forgot the name of the general. What he said was the general asked, I mean, somebody asked the general what could he come back and tell the people, and he told the soldier to go back to the community and tell them have more boys, because if this war goes on, we're gonna need more men to actually, build an army. And how can you keep focusing on having more boys without more girls? If you don't have any girls, how are the men are gonna reproduce? So my thing is this: I look at my daughter and I look at my son. Both, you're doing me a benefit. You know, I have 3 boys, 1 daughter. My daughter's gonna do me a benefit by either having a boy or having a daughter to keep on the legacy. Same thing with my boys. My boys gonna have more boys or gonna have daughters to keep on the family legacy. The family name breaks with the daughter. The boys carry on the name. But still, if you really look at it, just because she marries out to a different family, that's still within your family. They don't have your name, but the point of it is, like I keep saying, I don't get this whole notion of not dealing with the women, not dealing with the girls. They're going to be the one that raising the boys. They're going to be the one that having the boys. So in the aspect, you're dealing with both the men and the women.
She, you kind of didn't really answer my question. You made a statement, but my question was for the men that are afraid of. Okay, let me explain it just a little bit better. A lot of men, you never know what somebody's going to do. I'm not opposed to marriage. That's not what I'm saying. My question is for dudes who are afraid of like, there's no guarantee anybody can leave you any which way. And you said, well, I have that thought, but you have to have that thought if it's real, because people can divorce. Remember, if 50% of airplanes fell out the sky, people were like, damn, should I fly? So now that we know that at least 50% of marriages end in divorce, and 80% of to talk about state marriages, 80% of marriage divorces by women, what would you say to a man to get him to say, okay, this is worth that risk? Am I asking a better question? Am I more clear?
Yeah, I understand, but I said it from the get go. You have to pick the right
Vet.
one. I mean,
Okay, that's what I thought the answer was. So you say
yeah,
just they had to vet the women, but it's always the risk, correct?
yeah, it's always gonna be a
Okay,
risk.
I got you.
My
That's all. I just wanted
my
to make
wife
sure
is
it
Yeah,
wasn't
my
clear.
wife is right here with me. But the
Yeah,
point of it is, I've always said that my wife can sit here any day and just say, I don't want to deal with you no more. I'm gonna leave you. That's
yeah,
always that process. The
yeah,
vetting, the whole all that is hard because you don't know the intent of that woman.
yeah. Let me say this. I think more men are not afraid of a woman leaving them. I think a lot of men are afraid of their resources being taken, especially when there's no kids involved. Like, I think if a man has
Right.
kids, then he's all good if a woman separates. But I think if a man just marries a woman and they don't have no kids, and she just one day says, I'm unhappy, and leaves, that's when I think a lot of men get bitter. That's why you got all these bitter men making all these bitter videos. Especially, I'm got to show like let's say, like, some people can get past it, but then you got like the Coach Greg. I'm not dissing Coach Greg, but you can tell that extremely bitter because of the situation. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's
Perfectly
why.
normal.
And then a lot
Yeah.
of these young brothers is listening to that. So you got dudes like you that's saying some good information, and I agree with everything you said, but dudes are not hearing that. So my statement was, how can you get them to, like, I think there's nothing wrong with family or marriage or having kids, or even, like, I would tell young men, because a lot of men want casual situations, and I've always said that, do I think that you should date a woman if you want a casual situation? No, because she wants something more serious. And a lot of these dudes, they want to be, quote unquote, the pump and dumpers. So Most women that got kids ain't looking forward to be pumped and dumped, and it's not good. You know what I mean? Just to me. But getting them to see it in Sheet's way is like, how do I can say vet women, but they're gonna be like, F that. A lot of them don't even like women. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And I love women. So
And a lot of it's the individual of men. Every man ain't the same. And
Yeah.
the sad part, you can't reach those individuals, those males, but the ones you do reach in the chats and talk to on the side or panels, those are ones they'll listen to you. You know, sometimes they got to find the channel. You know, sometimes I may not able to drop a link up there, or if I'm not mod up on their channels. And sometimes I tell them, yeah, just search the name. It's that simple, and you can find topics that you like. You know, I try to get away from the relationship stuff. I'm not that really good because the last relationship I had was years ago in my 20s. But you know, I'm trying to look for enlightenment. You know, if she comes, she comes, and if she don't, that's it. I'm not worried about it. I know how they operate. You know, by communicating with them is great. You know, in this space, you need diversity. I mean, it started with 4 women in the 1.0. I forget their names that Wacky said, like they helped us create it. It wasn't just me creating it. It was a few 4 sisters that helped the original manosphere. And then the mainstream manosphere with the white or whoever races that you see on the other side learn from us. That's when you hear the iteration of manosphere of the mainstream. But then what happened was MGTOW came out of a wall of silence, you know, from Stolen Black, thanks to Barbarossa, aka him. He gave the idea, and we told at the perfect time. And I said, yeah, that's the iteration. It was the idea. See, BGS came out of that, even though he came from the conscious community. He was supposed to push it step forward, him and Angry. They did a decent job. It's just the problem is you got brothers that disagree what they was going to move forward in the 3.0 sector. You had 2 groups. You had Stream Team and Black Brain Trust. Brain Trust was first. Their problem is they don't make tech fun, like Kuda said, and I get it because it's handwritten information online and links, but they're not showing you how to do it. You know, now the weed stuff, the sapial section, those are basic. All right. And everything else, like you can talk about car and sim racing, that you got to actually see it, how it's built, you know, or actually doing it. You know, that's the hard part, you know. And I know they got it from another name, from a company named Black Brain Trust. So they better be careful. And Gabe shouldn't have brought that out in the panel. And I started laughing. I told him, yeah, you know, that's something they got to deal with. But you know, it happens. That's America for you. But Stream Team was good, but you had a lot of egos thanks to that individual.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Kuda and Ty City, they were the founders of it. Problem was they had a great ideas. The other 2 just didn't want to go for it. So you saw how that went. So yeah, you know, the space is very fragmented. You know, the other side is too. Don't be fooled. Just because they got structure with 21 Studios, it's still fragmented with certain brothers from that side. So yeah, both spaces need a merge. If things do change, it gets better in the end, you know. But what the problem is, they just don't want to work together. That goes for black men and white men because all men deal with the same problem. What I've noticed on both sides.
It's true. It's true.
It's really weird, you know, because we're being tested. Yeah, Kevin's the test, but what about the other race of men dealing with the same problem? You know, BJ said it best. It's really that simple to fix, but it ain't that simple because when you got guys that don't want to deal with marriage, that's why you got all these groups, and that's the problem.
But that's why I bring it up. I bring it up because I'm a man. I've never been married, but I'm not opposed to it. But like Kevin is really addressing the issues that should be addressed. But instead of people listening to what he's saying, you don't got to agree with everything, but they actually hating on him, like just hating for no reason. Like just debunk his talking points if you can, but you ain't got to hate the brother. You know what I mean? And I'm not telling people to be a proponent of him, but just because you don't agree don't mean you got to be an opponent. You know what I mean? That's just my thoughts though. Anyway.
Yeah. His talking points I don't worry about. It's just my issue is I hope he doesn't try to flip, but I know he ain't trying to bring harm to space. I think he's trying to away from it, but he is like an example that what he took from it, you know. He's an example what we need to see. He's doing it right, you know.
That's what I'm saying.
I think he's doing it right, and I'm glad he's getting $1 million. So that's his. I mean, I wish him well, you know. He just have his own thing, you know.
He's not. Let me say this. So like, this is he is. Like, it's not him. It's the interaction from the women that I would listen to, because it's not him. I'm like, oh, let me hear what Kevin's saying. I want to hear how he's gonna talk with the ladies. So, but if it was no ladies there, would nobody really be listening? It's the interaction, because a lot of men really want to interact with women and see if they can converse with them to get them, at least to get women to understand men. He's doing a good job to somewhat have different women dialogue with him about some of the issues that men seem to have that he doesn't think, or most people don't think, that women listen to. That's just my perspective. Do you agree with that or disagree with that?
I mean, that's an interesting perspective to have. You know, I sort of agree, you know, slightly, but I understand that Kevin is a unique dude, but he's the modern day what I hate to say masculinity is. I mean, some people don't
I
like
get
it.
you. I know where I agree with you on that.
They don't like the, I don't want to say feminine intensity like the S1 said. Yeah, you know, you could say that, but here's the thing. The world doesn't want it ultra masculine. Let's just put it that way. They
I
don't want
agree with you.
the rough
You're
and gruff.
phrasing
You
it a
know,
certain way.
yeah, it's
That
outdated.
metro man. They like
Yeah,
the metro
metro,
refined,
yeah.
more soft man.
Yeah,
Seeming.
I won't say obtuse, but I will say Kevin is more slick with it. He's more stealthy with it. I won't say it like that, stealthy, because he understands how people operate in the corporate world and the
Yeah, he does.
organizational world. Yeah, and
He's
that
doing
and
what he's
that's
supposed to do, bro. I
yeah,
ain't mad at him, and
yeah,
he don't need the space.
yeah. And I tell you this, like, if you want to be that example, fine. That's how you got to be. You got to be buttoned up
I agree.
at
I
this
mean,
point.
you don't really have to, but
Dude.
it seems. I must you say have to. Like, you never know, because anything can be created. So they can pick somebody from left field, and sooner or later, enough marketing and enough advertisement and enough just personal appearances can change your whole dynamic. Because sometimes you see people and you be like, how the hell did they blow up?
Yeah.
So, you know,
Him
organic or not. Go ahead.
as an older person,
Mhm.
that's the standard you want for an older person that's interject. He's not older, he's young, but he's in that age, you know, the AARP age.
Midlife.
Yeah,
Midlife.
he's what they should dress like in style. I hate to say, like,
He's
that's
midlife.
the only way. Yeah, the young people, they dress like they supposed to dress. See, I dress like casual conservative with the polo and the khakis. That's it, and regular shoes. But Kevin is more suited and booted sometimes because his age reflects his generation. You know, and yes, he grew up in the church,
Well,
but he's respectable. He's respectable
how old
though.
is Kevin? 51, right?
Yeah, he's up around that age. But I'm
I'm
just saying,
47, right?
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
47.
y'all. You see, y'all appropriate. Y'all understand how the old world is, but you have to adapt to the new suit clothing. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
I observe when people
but
cammed
it's
up.
dress.
Yeah.
It's the like, okay. I would say this: if I dress appropriately for the situation. So
Mhm.
if I'm just relaxing at home, I'm walking around the corner, I'm in sweats and a t-shirt. I'm going out on a date, I might put on a polo and a button up. If I'm going to a business setting, then it's suits or a wedding. So every image means a lot, but it all depends. Like, if you look at other groups, they don't have to worry about image so much because people accept them. So you'll see a Joe Rogan or a Elon Musk, they just
Yeah.
wearing t-shirts.
Yeah.
So it's all a perception. And I think that some people are really trying to be more affluent instead of just being like, if you talk well and if you are civil and kind, people respect you. But a lot of people don't understand how. Okay, let's say I look like I'm a hip hopper, right? I'm a black person. They might think I'm from a gang, but if I'm a white person dressed in that same way, they think I'm a skateboarder. So it's all about somebody's perception of what they see. And even if you put on a suit, it doesn't mean that you're always a good person. But I'm not
Mhm.
dissing Kevin or anyone else. I'm just saying we all have our perceptions of how we think people should act or dress, but it always depends on the environment that you're in. So
Exactly.
that's just my statement. So if you in the hood, you wearing a suit, you don't fit in. You know what I mean? I'm just, so it depends where you're at. You got to dress appropriately for your situation.
Yeah.
Anyway, bro, it's been a pleasure. I gotta go
Yeah.
handle some business. Your video on asceticism, I really appreciated you. The two of them, right? Appreciated it.
Yeah. I was doing that just to put some content out there, but I will do a video on the 15th this weekend on cynicism and the stoicism of the two. You know,
All right,
just
brother.
yeah.
I gotta catch you. I gotta run out. So
All
talk to
right.
you later. Thanks, man.
All right.
Thanks for letting me hop up.
All right. Appreciate you, CG3.
Hey, much respect to you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, man. You know, this space is kind of hectic. You know, like, I'm tired of the BS from the BR show and all the other dudes talking points. It gets ridiculous at times, but you know, it's a decent stream and you know, watch it on the playback. So with that, I just want to just hop out and say peace and shalom.